Davidson College Presbyterian Church is a community of Christian faith that gathers at the corner of campus and community. Our building sits next to one of the busiest crossroads of a growing, thriving metropolitan region. And over the last few years, we've been adding members, extending our reach, deepening our mission, and that is why we are launching our first capital campaign in over 17 years as we undertake the mission of opening doors to our members and to our neighbors. When our work is done, and when we have answered the call to put the gift of God's money to work on behalf of Christ Church and our neighbors, opening doors physically will be part of opening doors spiritually, and we will embody our call to be a church that is welcoming, connecting, and serving.
When I think of opening doors, when we visited the first time, so many people stopped and welcomed us. We also felt that from the leadership. How can we find ways to give back to each other, give back to other folks? I just think of opening doors as a way for us to help open doors to a community and a church that open doors to us and our family.
Welcoming means members and neighbors will find worship spaces equipped to better connect in-person and online worshipers, connecting them to God and to one another. 21st century technology will be joined to our traditional architecture, fully repaired and fully restored. Being welcoming also means that people who come into our newly renovated building will find a place where we can gather in ways that we cannot right now. Gathered so that we can then be sent back out into the world as disciples of Jesus Christ. Because buildings are part of our mission. They're places where we strengthen each other for ministry.
Opening doors to me tells me that everyone's going to have a place. Everyone is going to be welcomed. Everyone is going to find a place where they can fit in and have a family in the church.
We are a church that brings in anyone from the community with open arms and really wants everyone to feel that this is a safe space to gather and something that is for everybody. We're not a church that caters to just one kind of community. We really want to be welcoming to anyone.
Connecting means Davidson College students of every denomination, especially Presbyterians, will find community. They'll find community through our UKirk program, through the life of Davidson College Presbyterian Church, and they will also receive support and vocational discernment in the form of a year-round, full-time campus minister when this campaign creates an endowment for campus ministry. And serving. Serving means Davidson neighbors struggling with affordable housing will be able to continue to open the doors of their homes. Some of those homes have been in families for generations. Neighbors on the west side of Davidson can deepen ties to family and friends, while neighbors at Hope House and Habitat for Humanity will open doors to a stable home or to a first home.
One of the things that excites me the very most about this campaign is the affordable housing mission component. And when Larry and I heard that, we were just thrilled. It was like, oh, well, we're going to give more than we would have, I think, because of that. This church has had such a long history of commitment to affordable housing. Opening a door into a new home is just, I think it's a beautiful title for the campaign.
Now we can open the doors and spaces of our buildings, but we also know from the Psalms that unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. That's why we are asking you not just to prayerfully consider God's call for your financial support of this campaign, but we're also asking you to pray for the ministries that we seek to empower. Pray for the relationships that will be made, the love that will be deepened, the grace that will be shared. Pray that we might embody the words of the Apostle Paul from Ephesians, that by opening doors we might live the promise that you are citizens with the saints and also members of the household of God, built upon the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, with Christ Jesus himself as the cornerstone. In him, the whole structure is joined together and it grows into a holy temple in the Lord, in whom you also are built together spiritually into a dwelling place for God. Jesus came to build people into a dwelling place for God's Spirit. And to be that dwelling place, we need to be opening doors, literally and spiritually, opening our church and opening our hearts. Our vision for opening doors began long before COVID. It is a continuation of our witness to God's love in the Lake Norman region for almost 200 years, and it is more important than ever. As we emerge from the worst of the pandemic, we need to be able to gather and grow so that we might be strengthened and sent into our community and around the world. Students need to know of the certainty of God's presence with them in an uncertain world, and our neighbors need the blessing of homes that many of us take for granted. So join us, join the Spirit in opening doors to Davidson College Presbyterian Church so that we might be welcoming, connecting, and serving in faithfulness to God and to our neighbors.